attacks.
More now on that missing AirAsia flight. JP Tristani joins us now. He is a former commercial airlines pilot who flew the same region where that AirAsia flight went missing. So when you heard of those circumstances, it went down, the pilot talking about bad weather, what went through your mind?
Exactly that. Bad weather. Pilot made some decisions that might have placed his aircraft actually in harm's way, and particularly when he was refused a deviation, but he accepted the refusal of the deviation rather than execute his pilot in command privilege to say, no, I don't accept that, and I will execute a maneuver to keep me out of harm's way.
Right. One of the things my flight instructor always told me is don't let the guy on the ground fly your airplane. You're the one who's in trouble. You think that he perhaps should have deviated or climbed if he felt that it was that dangerous?
I'm uncomfortable with the climbing part because that implies to me that he was trying to top a thunderstorm. But you cannot judge the maturity of a thunderstorm when you're climbing above it. And I've been in fighter aircraft with a burner going alongside of a thunderstorm, and it's been outpacing me in the climb.
Wow.
So the fact that an airliner could possibly match that type of climb. The other problem is, when you try and top a thunderstorm, that thunderstorm has the capability to suck you down and into it.
And what can happen to even a robust airliner when they get inside a thunderstorm cell?
Well, you're going to have vertical winds that could reach 90 miles an hour, horizontal winds that could be 50 miles an hour. You can have hail. You can have a wind shear that is literally incredible on an aircraft that would be stressed to 2.5 G positive and 1 G negative. So you can have very quickly that aircraft lose a wing. It could tear off an engine, destroy the fuselage. In other words, that aircraft could come apart in those type of conditions.
And that would obviously be the kind of catastrophic failure that could cut off all communications, all power, and so forth, and leave the pilots unable to say anything to anybody on the ground.
It would make the pilots also disorientated. There's being thrown around, the aircraft perhaps even upset. So the disorientation, plus you may have cascading problems with all your computers in that particular type of an aircraft that causes a complete lack of normal discipline, to wit, no emergency call. Well, all pilots, as you know, it's one of your trainings, multitask. You're in trouble, you just key the hot mic and say, Mayday, 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 pan, 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 or I'm in trouble and I'm coming down. Those type of things are absent, which means to me that the pilots were incapacitated in some way, shape, or form.
The Malaysia air crash, taught us a lot about radar and what the ground can see and maybe can't see. This plane was relatively close to land. I'm surprised we haven't heard more about some kind of a radar track of something going down toward the ocean, whether it was debris or an intact aircraft.
Even if the transponder had been disconnected due to this aircraft breakup, so what happened to primary radar with the military? But unfortunately, I don't have a lot of confidence in the primary radar that exists in that area, to wit, going back to the 370 loss, where they did have an aircraft on a scope, but nothing happened. The other thing that I would say, what I'm really surprised about, no one is talking about the emergency transmissions. Where's the pinger? What happened to the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder sending out a signal? Nothing has been said about even remotely that we're searching for that signal. I haven't heard a thing. Maybe they were burned by the overemphasis on Flight 370, which turned out to be just noise coming off of search ships. But where is the pinger going? Where is that transmission? It's not been heard. Nothing.
This was a 6-year-old Airbus, had about 13,000 cycles, meaning takeoffs and landings. That's not an extraordinary number. I mean, this was a ship that should have been in relatively good shape.
If the proper maintenance was done on it, that's really a new ship. This is a 6-year-old, that amount, as you say, cycles going up and down, the pressurization, the effects on the structure. No, I see nothing wrong with it. The normal overbuilding structural of these aircraft should have been able to withstand up to severe turbulence, but not severe turbulence coupled with wind shears that are vertical and also horizontal of what may have occurred in a thunderstorm.
So whatever happened, it appears this pilot just didn't have time, these pilots actually didn't have time to say anything to anybody.
That's extraordinary. That's what I mean. You're trained to hit that microphone and start letting out an emergency message, even on the way down or even in a breakup. You will hear that on tape recordings of cockpit voice recorders where the pilots are going down, but they're transmitting. Nothing came out of these people, which means to me that they had a catastrophic event that literally immobilized them in that cockpit.
And they should be finding this wreckage fairly soon. They know where it last was, and the Java Sea not very deep.
150 feet median depth of the Java Sea. If that aircraft was breaking up in the sky, there should be a pattern of about 100 miles of wreckage down there. And if it broke up closer to the ground or on impact, yes, of course. 447 again. It had very quickly rudders, galleys were floating up, parts of the wings were floating up.
They found debris within 3 days. JP Tristani, who flew in the same area where that AirAsia flight is missing. JP, thank you.
Thank you very much.